Hello, welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Crealien and this is episode 151. You can find me online everywhere as Crealien, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Ravelry, Ko-Fi. Yeah, what else is there? My co-host Binks is here. He heard the bleep of the start of the recording and he didn't hear me set up because he was asleep. And I also have a web shop. That's where I was. Colourfulcreativity.nl or colourfulcreativity.com, where I sell my hand-dyed yarns and everything you need for knitting and crochet and anything crafty related in that area. The noise you hear in the background is the dishwasher. I was looking at if I could sit outside, which was also not an option because someone is remodeling their house and it is time to probably take out all the tiles. So it's a lot of drilling and a lot of construction noise. It feels like there's never the right time to record, and now I'm just making it the right time. So I'm really sorry if you hear a lot of humming, buzzing sound of the dishwasher. We have to make do with what we have. We now have solar panels, so the dishwasher is going through the day when the sun is up. The things you have to change in a household. It's been a while. I planned to do weekly vlogs during Tour de Fleece. Yeah, we're now a day after the Tour de France ended and the Tour de Femmes started. So I still call this just in time because the Tour de Femmes is going until the 31st of July. So basically the whole month of July is the Tour de Fleece. I will get to the why later. Let's just say it's never a right time and you have to make the right time. There's no use in procrastinating. Oh, Binks, you need your camera cuddles. Yeah, and I forgot to put my phone on silent, so here we go. It is now in non-disturb. And here we go. I have done quite some spinning, not so much knitting. And I did a lot of stuff with fiber because it is the Tour de Fleece and it is always July is fiber month here. So let me start with things I have finished. I have spun two little minis from the Crealien Halloween calendar that I got in 2021, I think. So I have a pink one and I have another pink one. I was in a very pink mood. These are 20-gram bits. They're all different. I think this was Falkland with Tussa silk, and this one I don't even know. I did look it up, but I didn't remember. They are 2-plied on the woolly winder on my Ashford e-spinner, and I spun the singles on the electric eel wheel nano. The 20 grams were split in 10 grams each, so on those teeny tiny bobbins that was just perfect, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you're really enjoying it too, right? Oh yeah, so enjoying it. You all know who's the star of the show, right? Yeah, who can say no to that? I don't know the yardage yet, but I'm guessing it is one of my favorite go-tos. I don't know how much it will poof up, but I think it's about fingering, maybe sportish when it poofs up. We'll see. So those two are finished. I had the goal for the Tour de Fleece to finish my whips. I started with this one as the singles, which is the Advent Day 3 from the World of Wool Advent calendar from last year. I had already started it, and during December it wasn't the worst because it was matching with the days, and the colors were like Christmassy, so red and green. But in summer, this is really doomy, gloomy, and we had a stressful period in July at the start of the tour. So this wasn't really pulling me in. So that's why I started those minis that were really bright and colorful as a little pick-me-up, like it's my happy spin. And then I decided to finish this one as well. So I finished up the second singles, and I think 2 days ago I finally plied it, so I could just write off that whip as finished. I think this might be sport to decay weight, but we'll see. I also don't remember the fiber contents, so I'm doing very well in not knowing what I'm doing and just doing what I do best, and that is go with the flow and don't really care about the rest. This I did care about. This I spun all the 3 plies for during the tour. This is my watermelon soft yarn, and I already had the first half done because this is a sock set from Frau Woellfchen. Here is the label, Frau Woellfchen. It is a sock set in Southdown, 100% Southdown fiber, and it is 2 times 60 grams. And like I said, it is watermelon. Here's skein number 1. And it goes from green to red, back to green, because that's how I spun it. It is a traditional 3-ply. And this is the second one. So now I can knit both socks. I hope they will be a bit the same because there was quite some time between it. I had, I think, about 40 centimeters between the first and the second bobbin, and then there was quite some left on the third bobbin, which I cheated because I just did a chain ply with the last bit. Hey, it's my yarn. I can do what I want. And I noticed that this bobbin that Robert printed me is probably a little bit smaller than the original ones because it's bloody full. It is sticking out a bit here. And this is only 60 grams of fiber. It's not really tight, I will admit. There is some space. It's nice and fluffy, and it will poof up even more when washing because I know. So yeah, interesting to see how much meterage this will be. And yes, I could have done all the calculating the meterage, etc. this morning, but that meant that I couldn't record. So you will have that in the next episode. I will just put it aside. And with that, things is throwing stuff on the ground. I basically have all the finished things. I have, like on Ravelry, you can frog your knits, hibernate them. In spinning, you can desert your whips. And I have 2 whips deserted. I will show you and tell you why in a sec. And this is basically, together with my bag of minis, the only whip I have left. Under here is not just red and orange. There is a full rainbow and back under here. And this is a batt, also by Frau Woellfchen. And this was my fun spin. This is a really, really nice gradient spin that I'm going to chain ply. But I don't have bobbins for the woolly winder empty. So I have to empty the bobbins first and then I can go and chain ply, because chain ply and the e-spinner and the woolly winder are just zen. It will take me ages because it's really, really thin. I don't know if you can really see that, but very good. I can't find it. Yeah, there's the beginning. So maybe this will help. And this is a little bit thicker bit. So yeah, it's really spun very finely. And I spun this mostly long draw. Sometimes I fell back on my short forward muscle memory, but then I went with long draw. And yeah, also on a bobbin that Robert printed me, which is awesome. I need more, and he knows it. So yeah, that is all the things I spun this tour. And then I had some playing around with fiber as well. I have dyed fiber because I was like, I want something nice and new and interesting. And I found some Rambouillet in my stash. I have never spun with Rambouillet before, so here it is. It is a chocolate and mint, but it also has some wine in it. So yeah, here is the braid. It is really soft and poofy, so very interested to see. Might be a bit like the South Down maybe, but a little bit softer. The South Down is a bit sturdier. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. And the other thing I did was some merino nylon, my absolute favorite go-to, and some bright colors with some coral, and I really, really like it. I had dyed it with the coral and the purple. I was like, it's lacking something, so I added some green turquoise to it, and I really, really love it. And it's really nice and soft, so very much looking forward to this. Now I'm in decision paralysis what the next new project will be, but hey ho. There's more to the pile than these two to pick from. Because last weekend a friend came over and she also spins. She's really good. She's my spinning teacher as well. And I had pulled out everything. My drum carder, my blending board, and my hand carders. And I have made 2 sets of 3 Rolags with some green undercover otter fiber blend. And I got that last year after the breidagen from the lovely Kaya of Lana Filia. And I was like, ooh, I could use that to make some spring gardens. It has some extras in it on the inside. This one has silk noil and some nylon, some trilobal. So there's pops of color in there. Here you can see a little bit of this one. This one has sari silk and the trilobal nylon. So it feels a bit like spring gardens or tulip fields, like all green with the pops of color. And I think I will just mix and match them together. One of each or something, and half. I have 3, so it will be one of each and half of each, and then I will 2-ply it together to make it a nice, I wanted to say even spin, but mostly a cohesive spin probably. And I was having issues with 2 braids of fiber. They were absolutely no fun to spin, and I was planning on making them in fractal spins, but yeah, that didn't happen because just no fun. It turned out the fiber was just really, really felted, and drafting felted fiber just sucks. So now I have a huge bag of batts. Let me show you this one. This fiber was really felted. It is a superwash merino, but I dyed it back when I didn't know what I was doing, probably. And I dyed it in my kitchen downstairs on the gas hob, so it probably boiled to dead instead of that it simmered. And yeah, you can kill superwash with that. So here it is, super fluffy and some nice colors in there. It reminds me a bit of the Northern Lights. Binks is back in his blanket fort. And I can show you this. This was the other spin. I called it Sunsetter and I wanted to spin it as a fractal. But it just, no fun at all to draft. Really hard work. And I was like, nope. I am not gonna sit through that. It will kill all my spinning mojo. And my wonderful friend said, what if we split it up in the pink, purple, red section and some nice white, yellow, orange. So now I have two sets of batts that go together perfectly, and I think with this one as a main color I would have a wonderful color work project once I finish spinning. So that might be my next spin. I'm just not sure yet if I want to do something this big or if I want to do something small. I mean, something small is very rewarding, like the 20-gram minis. But yeah, difficult. Choices. And I'm not good at making choices at the moment. So that is all the spinning and fibery stuff I did. Yeah, the itchy nose from fiber. We all know it. Then I have projects to share. First up in the Floofhunter bag from Yarnistry Shop, which I don't think she makes anymore, but is my Valgus sock number 2. Valgus was a pattern that was used in Sock Madness. I think it was the first round, and it is by Jennifer Rushinsky. J Rush Knits, I think, was the handle on Instagram. And I'm knitting it in No Rainbows Without Rain. Look at how cool it is pooling. Isn't that amazing? I have just put in the heel here with some yellow contrast yarn. Here's the ball. This is a frogged sweater. So it was already in a ball and I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. There is a Valgus knit along going. It started the 1st of July and it's going until half of August. You do not need to finish, just post on Instagram with the right things. I will link to the correct Instagram account so you can read all the info there. So yeah, and this is the soft sock base, and I'm knitting on 2.5mm high sharps, and yeah, it's a really fun knit, kind of mindless and really easy to read your knitting for when you have to do things. I now have to pay attention because I have to do a few more not increase decrease rounds, but yeah, well, or maybe it is increase decrease rounds, and then I have to stop and just go straight. So I have to stop the skew bit, and yeah, but this is not a priority at the moment, so it is back in the bag. It is traveling with me in my purse. I just take this bit, throw it in my purse, and then it can accompany me for waiting room knitting and everything, because I have the pattern on my phone in Knit Companion. So that's one whip. My next project has a spoiler alert warning, because if you do not want to see the summer sock along or secret sock along or whatever sock along, the Mystery Knit Long Socks by Stephen West. Look away. The Contrast Blast socks is what I'm talking about. In this bag from the Fiber Co, the Almanac series, I got this bag with an order with a kit of other yarn, and I was like, I need a bag, I need something nice, something bucket like that I can just put on the table. So yeah, if you do not want to see it, look away now and come back a little bit later. I will say I'm only at clue 2, halfway. I was further, but I had to frog twice already. So yeah, here it is. Like I said, halfway through clue 2. I started the 72 stitch version on 2.25mm needles. My go-to is 64 stitches on 2.5mm needles, but the yarn is a bit thinner, so I like it on 2.25mm needles. But 64 stitches would be way too tight, and I don't think there is a 64 stitch option. Sorry, I'm bleeding. I was already in, I think, the second repeat of the first clue of this slip stitch pattern when I noticed I didn't switch my needles as I had planned, and I couldn't get it over my foot again, so the cables were pulling in too much. It was really tight, and the slip stitches weren't helping as well. So I frogged back to the cuff. I reknit this part on 2.5mm needles. Then I started clue 2 also on 2.5mm needles. I finished the whole heel flap and heel turn on 2.5mm needles, and then I was like, oh yeah, I should have gone down to 2.25mm needles, at least for the heel flap and heel turn. But I didn't. So I had to frog back the whole thing, and I frogged back even more because the leg was way too long for me, and I couldn't get the cabled part over my calves because I have nice fluffy swimmer's calves, and they are just not stretchy here. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame, but now I have a shorter bit of this, and I am now knitting on 2.25mm needles. I hope, yeah, 2.25mm. The garter section is a bit looser than the stockinette section, so that makes that I had to go down to the 2.25mm already, and I think I am doing one more repeat of the garter slip stitch section, and then I am starting the heel flap again because that's just long enough for me. Then I have 4 of these, I will have 4 of these, and it will be nice. Yeah, a bit nicer in comparison than having 8 of these and 4 of these, and it looked weird. So yeah, the yarn I'm using is the Life in the Long Grass yarn I showed you last time. Here is the first one. Since I had to cut the yarn for the heel flap, well, I have the ball here. This way around. Life in the Long Grass, and the colorway is Chlorophyll. Come on, focus. And this is their fine sock base. The other color is Jewel, also Life in the Long Grass. And Jewel, which I got from Manaphilia. And I'm really enjoying it. I love the color combination together, so that's just perfect. It's just in timeout because I'm just cross with it. I have seen clue 3, and yeah, I think it will be fine. I might continue with 2 needles, 2.5 on the top and 2.25 on the bottom, but we'll see. I don't know if you ever knit with 2 long circs. I don't mind, I can do it all, but it's not my favorite way. And then in this sweater bag, by Tenny Cassie, I have Robert Sweater, which has been my priority knitting. I think I was about there last time I showed it to you, so I knit a good amount. I have added a new ball because here are the ends that are mostly already knit in. And yeah, it is just boring stockinette, which was very nice at some moments this month. It is a pieced sweater that I'm knitting it around and adjusting. The yarn I'm using is Country Tweed Fine by Lana Grossa, and here's a ball in close up so you can see. It is a grey with specks of lighter grey and blue, a tweedy yarn. It is 180 meters in 50 grams, so a good sport weight, so not too heavy. And the pattern is also from Lana Grossa. It is what we saw last year on the runway when we were at the Yarn Design Kleve runway show, fashion show. It is a top down in pieces with a Henley zippered neck. So I will knit in round to the underarms, and then I will split up and knit flat and do stuff and see how it works with a zipper and everything, because I have absolutely no clue. The pattern is in German. It's not my favorite, but I'll manage. And I'm knitting it now on 4.5mm needles, and for the flat knitting I will go back to my 4mm needle because my gauge on purling is way looser than on knitting. That's why on the sock the purl, the garter is looser than the stockinette. So yeah, project number 3, and that was it for works in progress. Then I have some excellent new acquisitions. First up is this nice package, and in here is some yarn I have ordered a while back and had it sent to my friend Francesca, who is from the UK, and offered to bring me yarn. The yarn that I would only be able to get, I don't have the cards, okay. The yarn that I would only be able to get with lots of extra VAT and fees, custom fees and stuff. VAT is not the problem, it's the extra custom fees. Those fees are just, they never know what to put in. So yeah, it's always a gamble. Sometimes you have to pay a lot, sometimes you have to pay the handling fees, etc. So I was really grateful that Francesca offered to bring me some yarn, and I first thought about some fibers and stuff, and then I was like, oh, Fat Funky Fibers, they are in the UK. I thought they were in the US, but they are in the UK. So I have some extra self-striping yarn now. Here we have a Break in the Clouds. So it is grey with rainbow stripes, and it's 250 grams, and they should be the same. Then I have this one, Walking on Rainbows, which has one half of the rainbow in one and the other half in the other. And a full bundle of rainbow stitch markers, which I think is awesome. I mean, I sell them for a reason. I only sell stuff I really like myself usually. So, yeah. And then I got 2 the same ones. And this is Lazy Sunday Afternoon. There. One with a light contrast and one with a darker contrast. And it's basically the same, just 2 different socks. But I thought it would be fun to get 2 sets, because now I can make 4 socks and have like, I can pair them, or I can just do them mismatched. I thought it would be fun. Or maybe a pair for me and a pair for Robert, but who knows. So yeah, fab funky fibers, all the self-striping stuff, which is awesome. And it's all the same base. It is their general sock base. So the 75-25 merino nylon, 425 meters, just the same as my soft sock. And then on a very stormy Wednesday, a few days before that, I found out there is to me, a new yarn store, which also sells fiber, has John Arbon fiber and yarn, which I think is amazing. And it was about 30 minutes drive from here. So not even that far. So I was like, let's go there. Like I said, it was a really stormy day, but in the afternoon it cleared up and we were like, oh, we could go. So we did. And I didn't come home empty-handed. The shop is called Steel. Let me check. There. And for the Dutchies, it is in Bornebroek. They have a savings card. You get stamps for every 10 euros. And with a full card, you get 10 euro discount. I think that's awesome. I got myself a Schoppel Zauberbal Crazy in the Orangerie colorway, which I have been lusting for a long time. I had seen it with someone and I was like, oh, what color is that? And everywhere I looked, they didn't have the color, or it was already sold out. So I was very happy to see that. And I also saw another colorway, and then I looked in my stash and I was like, ah yeah, I know why I like it. I already own it. So thank goodness for stashing on Ravelry, or keeping your stash online somewhere so you can check it. And this one I picked immediately. I went there for the fiber to see what they have. And yeah, it was screaming my name. The name is Over the Rainbow. And it has a lot of glitter in it. It is 80% merino and 20% stellina, so that's a whole lot of stellina. So I really, really love it. And I'm very interested to see how I can spin this up now that I have done the online John Arbon Mill open weekend with a workshop about spinning from the fold and keeping color and using blended tops. It was awesome. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago already, maybe 1 week, no, 2 weeks. There was the Woll Festival Kassel, and I saw that and I really wanted to go. It was the 8th and 9th of July, and Kassel is about 3 hours drive, but we also had the scans that week after, so it wasn't really the best timing to go, and yeah, it just wasn't an option. So I just lusted over all the photos on Instagram and all the video material. And it was amazing. And the lovely Nora of Einfach Nora, who also has a podcast, if you want to check her out, had a little, yeah, not a real giveaway, but more like a, she asked a question and the person who was closest would win something from the Wool Festival in Kassel. And she asked, how many granny squares can I crochet during the Wool Festival? I went for 9 and I was almost spot on with another 2 people, and then she had to draw the names out of a hat, and my name came out. So I won the skein of Westknits, which I had never heard of, but this is so up my alley. This is a neon speckled skein of Sokkenwolle vierfach superfine, which is 75-25 merino polyamide and 400 meters, and it basically feels like my soft sock, so I think it might be the same base, which is my absolute favorite base. So yeah, the colorway is called Summer Feeling, and it is amazing. And Noah also sent me 2 stickers from the Wool Festival, and from what I have seen, it was a really big success, and they are going to do it again next year. So hopefully I can make it then, because it looked really, really good. And thank you so much, Nora. This was just to pick me up. I needed that week. So yeah, those are the acquisitions. I think the acquisitions might be toning down a lot from now on. But yeah, we'll see. My stash is huge, so I really need to use the stuff that I have. The shop is open. I have dyed the fiber. I have dyed some yarn that isn't in the shop yet. It's a new colorway called Kinky Boots. I finally was able to get the right shade of red. I think I already showed it to you in some mini skeins a while back that I dyed the sample, and I have now dyed it on some bigger skeins. Yeah, the shop is open. There's still plenty of yarn because I still don't have enough room to store my newly dyed yarns. So I did manage to declutter the studio a bit. Because of the solar panels, we had to move all of one corner of the attic out. And some things from the studio have to go into the attic, and I do not have the space yet in the attic because I'm also trying to declutter the attic. Yeah, it's a lot. And with that, we're going into more personal talk. For those of you who do not want to hear things about cancer, bad and sad news, I totally understand. I will see you again next time. Bye bye. For those of you who are sticking around for the bad, sad and horrible, thank you. It's not good. I was hoping to do this with dry ice, but apparently I can't. Robert's cancer is back. It's back in his head. It's back in his belly. If it was only the belly, okay, but it being back in the head is a real smack in the face. He's got 3 tumors in his head and 3 in his bowel, small intestine, and yeah, that's just really, really bad. Life expectancy is a lot shorter now, and yeah, we have to deal with that. We are doing better at dealing with it at the moment, but sometimes when I talk about it, this happens. Yeah, what can I say? He's got meds, the same meds he got last year in February, to shrink everything, but that's a temporary and palliative measure. There's no chance of curing it, only chance of living a little bit longer with hopefully a good quality of life. These meds have the highest chance of a good quality of life, and they work for 50% of the people for 14 to 15 months, and for 50%, the other 50%, they work longer, but nobody knows how long. So yeah, there you have it. If they don't work anymore, they will throw everything at it possible, if we want to, because that is something we have agreed on. It has to be good chances, and not like our new GP said, you do not have to cross the finish line vomiting. And we agree. It's already a fight we can't win. We do not have to do everything to make it last longer if there is no quality of life. So yeah, we've had very, very difficult conversations the past weeks. That is why there was never a good time to record this. At the moment, Robert is feeling good. Tomorrow he has to get his blood drawn, and later in the week we will get the result of that if things are not killing him already. The medicine, that is, because they do have some aggressive side effects, and they do have to keep your liver and every weird values of your blood checked. And yeah, I have no clue what the intervals will be for the podcast from here on out. Living my life with Robert is the highest priority, hence why that sweater is a priority. I want him to wear it still, and not be the sweater curse that, well, is really the worst kind of sweater curse. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. That's why my acquisitions will probably die down here, because yeah, why would I need more yarn and fiber if I can just save it for later, or just spend it on a nice vacation or things we want to do? I have plenty of yarn and fiber. I will manage for years without buying anything. So that's just totally fine. You get totally different priorities when something like this happens. I do want to keep dyeing yarn. I do want to keep the shop open, and I also want to keep knitting and crafting, because that's the only thing that keeps me sane. I do love making the podcast for you and sharing what I'm doing and interacting with you all. And I noticed some people already missing me, so I was like, yeah, I just have to hop on. It might just be that I will not be telling you about the personal stuff anymore, because I can only do it sobbing. And I rather just focus on the positive of my crafting. I know most of you aren't here for that, and also here for the personal stuff, but still, if that is what is keeping the podcast alive, yeah, me sobbing on camera is not how I would like to be on the internet. And yeah, what else to say? We're just trying our best. We are, we got the solar panels basically 5 days after that news. So it was like, oh, okay, are we gonna do this? Yeah, let's just do this. We wanted it for a few years already, so we have finally done it now. We are getting tiles in the kitchen. The walls are going to be tiled next week, so that's also a week I cannot record because I will have people in my house working, making noise, etc. And after that we'll see what happens. End of September we hope to be able to go away on vacation. Well, we still hope we have some time left and some good quality time. So yeah, that's that. I'm sorry for ending on such a not very happy note. But that's life here at the moment, and we all know life isn't always sunshine and fun and roses and everything. There's also weeds and rain. So yeah. I will see you again when I will see you again. Hopefully I can keep it up with once a month. Not exactly a month, but somewhere once every month that there is a video, but we'll see. I do have a happier note to end with actually, because I made some video material at SSAL. So I'm taking you with me on a round through the store. There is the entrance hall that had the fiber cabinet and fiber studio part. And then there is the yarn and the table where you can sit. I didn't film that because there were people at the table. But they have a nice big table, and yeah, it's a really nice old farm shed, and yeah, I really enjoyed it there. So I'll probably be going more often, and I think they said they were gonna get some new John Arbon fibers in August or somewhere this summer. They're now closed for summer, so hopefully it will be next month somewhere, and I'll go again to grab myself some John Arbon Appledore, because, well, John Arbon is in the UK, and like I said, fees and extra customs, etc. No fun. So I'd rather buy it there than order directly from the mill. So yeah, I guess with that I am saying goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed the little footage I made over there, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.